And welcome to another segment of Good Vibes. I'm Martin False along with Debbie Cox DeNova. She's here each week and she gives us some great expertise on topics that we never even imagined before. Debbie, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, so our topic today is making dreams come true.
Yes.
Sounds like an old Walt Disney movie.
It's one of my favorite topics ever.
All right, you got the floor.
Yeah.
How do we do it?
As a transformation coach, this is what I do all the time. And if you're not in the position yet to hire yourself a coach, you may want to play along today. Grab a piece of paper and a pen because we've got some science-based strategies that are going to help you to take that dream that is within you, and we all have at least one that's hidden, and oftentimes maybe it feels a little unrealistic for the life that you're living right now, and bring it to life in the 3D world. So first things first, this is something we hear all the time, and it's also almost dismissible how often we hear it. But writing down your goals, and specifically writing down your goals on a daily basis. So Dr. Gail Matthews of the Dominican University of California did a study, and she found that if you write your goals down every single day, you have a 42% chance increase in actually getting your goals accomplished. And people hear this all the time, write it down, write it down. What's happening there is that you're getting your both hemispheres of your brain involved, and you're actually getting it into your system that this is something that you want to focus on. We know about the ascending reticular activating system, the part of our brain that helps us focus on what is important to us. Well, we have to inform the brain of what is important to us first, and we do that in part by writing it down and then repeatedly writing it down. So Marie Forleo actually talks about writing it 15 times a day. Not because it's a superstitious thing, but because in that repetition, you're actually programming that part of your brain to see this as important and see this as something that you focus on so that you can actually inform the rest of your life around what you're actually trying to create. Okay, the second thing is that you want to schedule a time and a place to take action. So Dr. Heidi Grant Halverson, who is a social psychologist who focuses on goal setting, says that you can double or triple your results just by scheduling where you're going to do it and when you're going to do it. Actually put it in your calendar like a really important appointment. So here we have a 42% chance of increase with writing it down. Now we have doubling and tripling our results if we actually schedule a when and a where. And then the third thing is to send updates to a friend. All right. So right now at home, maybe you've already written down exactly what you want to create, right? Make sure you also write down in your calendar, and if you set appointments digitally, go ahead and put in your calendar, when is the next time you're going to do it? Where are you going to do it? Even how you're going to do it. The more detail you can bring to it, the more likely you're actually going to follow through. And then maybe you want to set up an accountability partner. So right now, if you don't know exactly, maybe some ideas about who could be your accountability partner. This can be as simple as saying, hey, like I'm just going to tell a friend, I'm actually committing to following through on this dream that I'm creating, and I'm telling you about it. That will actually increase your chances, according to the American Society of Training and Development, by 65%. And if you set an actual accountability appointment, that's up to a 95% increase in your chances of actually getting it accomplished.
And don't you have to compensate for the negatives that you're going to get when you set your goal? I remember, true story, when I wanted to start a TV station when I was 25 years old.
Yeah.
And I started telling people, and they said, nah, you can't do it. You're not going to make it. Another one failed. The only two people that told me I could make it were mom and dad.
Yeah, you see that?
Everybody else said, no, I had to overcome all the negatives before I could swing the positive.
I love that you brought this up because the Bronnie Ware's end-of-life studies show that people's number one regret, it's not, that they followed through on something and people made fun of them. It's that they regret not living a life that was true to themselves versus one that lived into the expectations of other people. And this also goes to the point of protecting your dreams, right? Making sure that because of negativity bias, we already are sometimes our own worst enemy. We think about all of the things that could happen, the pitfalls, and it keeps us from actually taking action. And so if you want to actually get something done, drawing a line in the sand, Tony Robbins says, and really deciding, I am going to do this. I'm actually going to do this. But then being super protective of what you're creating is really important. That means that if you're telling, and if you look at people who don't actually get things accomplished, you'll find that they're telling the same people over and over again, the ones who have negative things to say about it being unrealistic. And really, realism is only just a product of what's happened from the past, right? That's how we form our impressions of what's realistic. Anything that anybody who creates big things, they know how to live into a reality that hasn't yet been created. And so in a way, dreams are all unrealistic, right?
Everybody used to always ask me, how did you know when you were successful?
Yeah.
when the mailman brings you more money than you have going out the checkbook, you know you made it.
There you go. Exactly. And you need to know exactly what that looks like for you. So you need to be able to frame up for yourself, what is it that I'm actually trying to create for some people, and also to include in what you're trying to create the emotions, right? So you have so many people make it to the top financially and they're miserable. Like it amplifies their sadness, their misery, and there's nothing worse than, a billionaire who is just completely miserable with life, right? So we want to know that whenever we're setting goals of any kind, it's because it's associated with a certain emotion. And all along the way, you get to build with that emotion in mind so that the desire that you're actually after, the experience of life, is there for you along the way and also when you get there. So that goes back to not only protecting it from negative Nancy's. Think about the people that you're sharing with. Are they people who have, if you're going to climb Mount Everest, right? You're not going to go ask the opinion of people who have never even, tried the summit, right?
Find somebody who climbed it.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't really want the opinions of someone who's never done what you, who don't take intentional and meaningful risks in their own lives. You want to share it with people whose opinions actually matter toward the end game. And then you want to flood your mind with positive examples of people who have accomplished things.
I always said no negative waves.
No.
Writing things down. You hear me telling people all the time, write things down,
Yes.
write things down.
Yes.
It's till it, when you're writing a song, if you're putting a song together, you're strumming the chords.
Yeah.
You're writing line by line. You're writing it down.
Yes.
And it makes you not forget. It makes you, it's repetition. The more you play it and the more you see the words. The visible aspect of it burns an image
Yes.
in your brain. And that's why you hear me over here always saying, write it down, write it
Yes.
down. Because if you write it down, you're more apt to remember it.
Absolutely. And then this goes back to actually visually, because we're visual creatures, right? So you visually want to frame up what your dream looks like and then write it down in detail from the frame that you've created of what it actually looks like. And then to your point earlier, you want to create a contingency plan. So you want to think ahead to things that could interrupt the when and the where when you're going to do it, and actually make a plan for a backup plan for if things don't go the way that you want them to. And that way, what we're doing really is the same thing that sports players do. It's like there are so many things outside of our control, right? So we're basically positioning ourselves and increasing the probability that we're going to accomplish what we're after, one little incremental step at a time. So it's about taking action. And really the number one thing when you're actually making a dream come true is about taking action. Now you hear Tony Robbins, and this is really good, take massive action. Absolutely. Take massive action if you can. A lot of us though are in lives where we're super busy already, right? There's this much energy and time left over. We're already edging ourselves out. And so one of the things that you need to think about is living a life of simplicity, really cutting out things that are draining, that are not adding to your life, and really recognizing that we're not machines. So we can plug into every single moment in our calendar if we want to, we can say on this, and occupy every minute with plans. But if you're not building into that self-care, exercise, eating properly, then the machine that is you is not going to optimally operate, and then you're going to burn yourself out. So you really want to simplify by releasing everything. And this is why it's really important to know where you're going. What are you creating? Writing it down, because then it becomes very easy to see, okay, this is actually a distraction instead of an opportunity, where I'm going this way, this is asking me to go this way, and this is not exactly where I need to go. And it's powerful, really, really powerful. So the action though, it can be great, big, massive action if you have that available to you. And on the days when you feel really good, maybe you will take massive action, but it's really about taking action of some sort in a consistent way. So it can be small action. But what you want to do, if you can, is front load your priority energy, your top energy, to the things that matter most to you in your dreams. So for example, if you're writing a book and you want to have that book, first of all, know exactly when you want to have that book done by. It's a deadline, right? You're kind of giving your mind a place to shoot from. Okay, I'm going to have this completed by this time. And every morning when I get up, I'm going to front load the activity of writing and treat it like a priority so that I can incrementally move myself to the end game. In that way, even if you're dedicating 5 to 10 minutes at a time, how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. You're actually moving toward your goal. And 9 times out of 10, when we get started, and I was just talking to Jen back about this, when you get started, exercising, just the warm up, will increase the likelihood that you'll continue on to do the full workout. It's about getting started, right? We're all kind of doing our little pattern. It's about disrupting the routine and getting off the sidelines of your own life. Stop being a spectator to your own decisions.
Well, it's about entrenching that routine on days that it becomes entrenched in your brain that you go, Tuesday, got to exercise with Debbie.
Yes.
Thursday, got to exercise with Debbie. Wednesday, got to do this.
Yeah.
So the more you burn it, you can flip the schedule,
Yeah.
According to your business or whatever, but then you got to burn that again.
Exactly.
The way you're getting back in the routine.
And look how the example that you're using, the accountability aspect of that, right? Like even on the days when it's really not convenient, and I've shown up a number of times where it hasn't been a convenient thing for you. I'm there to exercise with you, and you're making it happen, right? So that is what it is about. It's actually about adjusting your time and the picture of your life so that you are putting yourself in the best position to win at whatever it is that you're trying to create. Get very specific about what you want to create and have fun with it. Because really, again, what we're doing is we're creating emotions. We're trying to create an ecosystem, a vibrational ecosystem, if you will, that is going to make us feel better in our lives. The people that we hang out with, the roles that we play, the job performance that we're after. It's all so that we can create an experience of life that feels good to us. And that's really, at the end of the day, that should be the measure of success for all of us.
And I've always said it, and I try to tell my nieces and nephews this: don't hang around negative people.
No.
They will kill you.
They will.
And, and probably I'm driven to a fault. I don't know if there is a fault for being driven, but I'm probably is, if that's the point. But you cannot let people negatively derail you, because there's more negative people than there are positive
They
people.
really are, yeah.
So the positive people got to overtake the negative people.
Yeah, and through the science of neuroscience, we know that your brain it's actually toxic to your brain to be surrounded by negativity. It actually changes the structure of your brain. So if you're looking to create something big and unrealistic and something that lights you up all the way, the last thing you want to do is entrench your thoughts and your mind with negativity. And the number one way that we do that is to surround ourselves by people, because we're social creatures, surround ourselves by people who have a dim outlook on life, who think things are unrealistic, and who really just want to stay the same in life. You want to grow, be around people who are on the cutting edge of life and who are growing and taking meaningful risks in their own lives, and watch what happens.
Like Brother Anthony used to tell us in the 8th grade at Vanderbilt, rolling stones gather no moss.
Correct. Exactly. Take that action. So write down, last thing on the list, write down exactly what action step you're going to take next, and then make it happen.
All right. Thank you, Debbie.
Yeah,
Great topic.
Of course.
All right. We'll take a short break. We'll be back, same place, same time, same person, and we'll give you another topic. See you soon.